Good evening. It is 7:01 p.m. on March the 11th, 2025. This is a special meeting of the Conservation Commission and Inland Wetland Agency of Norwalk. Could we have roll call, please, Amelia?
Sure. Commissioner Breslin?
Here.
Commissioner Pence?
Here.
Commissioner Brown?
Here.
Commissioner Vanette?
Here.
And Commissioner Clocky.
I am here. Thank you very much. So we are reconvening the public hearing for S16-499B for 284 New Canaan Avenue. This is a continuation of a public hearing that's been open for a couple of meetings now. And there has been, Mr. Carey is here to represent the property owner. We have, as I believe, received new information since our last meeting. Amelia, would you be interested in summarizing that?
Sure. We got some information today that Mr. Carey will also give a quick presentation on that addressed the sound barrier, or the acoustical barrier, the berm, which is no longer proposed, as well as some corrective action work. And sorry, I'm trying to pull up the plans while I'm talking too. Some corrective action work detailing the areas where there was some disturbance and restoring that with native vegetation, as well as some further details about the stormwater management system. Actually, Brian, would you just like to give your presentation and pull up the plans, since I couldn't do that in my quick summary?
So you see that?
Yep.
So just for the record, my name is Brian Carey. I'm the Director of Environmental Services for Land Tech. I'm also a professional wetland scientist in the state of Connecticut, and throughout the United States. As you know, we've been going back and forth a couple times. There's been two separate applications that are pending in front of you. One was for the restoration of this area where trees had been removed, and we got that approval last month. Currently pending in front of you is for application S19-499B. Originally, the applicant received a notice of violation for the expansion, for the improper expansion of the yard, where you see this hatched area is. We've received some feedback from the public, and we also have a pending zoning violation. So in working with the applicant, we have decided to forgo seeking the yard expansion, and we are just going to go back and restore the limits of the yard to what was previously approved by the Inland Wetlands Conservation Commission under the previous permit from 2018. As part of basically restoring the yard back to its original limits, we are going to grade this area out and then seed it with a conservation wildlife mix and let it go fallow. The only thing we're asking for now, based on the modification of the original approval, is to change from a above ground detention basin that was previously laid out in this area to installing a subsurface detention system with a hydrodynamic separator to basically deal with all of the stormwater that's generated on site. The practicality of the previous design with an above ground detention basin just limited the current occupant of the property too much, as real estate is valuable for them. That being said, we have been responding to staff comments, which is why we submitted the plans today. I got we had submitted a previously updated plans about a week and a half ago. Alexis, who I know is out of town, got back to us on Friday, so we were able to address her comments yesterday, and we put everything back into the record earlier this morning. So I apologize about the timeframes. We're trying to turn this around as quickly as possible. We are also in the process of submitting zoning application just to certify this one modification and to resolve the existing zoning application. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We still are waiting on, based on this design, comments from the town engineer and from conservation department staff, since we just submitted this into the record. We did give the commission an extension of time for the public hearing. So I do believe there's one more meeting before we're out of time. So if we need to address any other minor comments from the town engineer or conservation staff, we can do that, and we will do that quickly as possible. We think, based on our previous experience and comments received by the public during the previous public hearings, we think just putting this back to the original approval is probably the best path forward to basically mitigate the violation that's existing right now.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Just to be clear, you said what is the planting plan for what is currently being proposed?
So in this, if you kind of remember, they basically extended into this area. So right now, we added these notes to the plan. Just talks about removal of all the materials that are in that area, grading it back to a fairly level as it was before, adding a small topsoil layer, and then just seeding it with the conservation wildlife mix. I'm not sure what the intention is in the future, if they do intend to come back with an application to expand the yard in the future. That's not their intent at this time. So we were just going to seed it and then let it go fallow just to restore the area.
And remind me, were there any trees taken down as part of this expansion?
It doesn't appear on the aerial photographs there were, but if the commission thinks that there needs to be more of a shrub layer or tree layer near, that's not really an issue. It's just at some point in the future, if they do decide to come back, that would obviously be removed or changed. But if that's something common, if the commission wants to see something a little bit more robust in there, that's not a problem. Again, we're just trying to go back and meet the conditions of the former 2018 approval, inland wetland approval, with the modification to change this system to an underground system.
Okay. Do commissioners have questions? Paul, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. In regard to your question about were any trees removed, looking at photographs, that expanded area that's got that hash mark through it, it looks, you can't tell if there's going to be trees taken down because it's got piles of sand and dirt on top of it currently, or at least it did a couple of weeks ago. But it's a rectangular area, which is not a natural shape. So I would recommend that it be planted, with, deciduous trees that are native.
Okay, thank you. Cheryl?
Amelia, do we have older satellite imagery of that area that we might be able to see?
I can pull it up. Is there a specific time frame you're looking for?
Prior to the expansion.
All right, I'll look for that right now.
Okay, thanks. could-
Alexis did provide us with some aerial photography, which I'm just trying to find right now.
Okay. We'll give you guys a couple minutes to find that for everyone's reference.
You know what? It looks like she had something on the website. So I will share that. And Cheryl, you let me know if this is what you were looking for. This has the overlay on it.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
That, I think, answers our question
Oh, yeah.
about tree coverage.
No, the trees were taken out. It's definitely.
It kind of looks like a forest.
All right, Brian, is that clear enough direction for you?
Yes, yep.
Okie dokie. And on the proposed plan, I mean, I'm not seeing any erosion control on the plan, but maybe you reference it in your notes.
It's in the notes.
It's in the notes.
I mean, this again, this whole area will be where you have the existing material yard. This will all be removed. The
Oh, I
bins
can't see
will
what
be
you're looking at,
removed.
Brian. If you
Oh,
want to share your
sorry.
screen. That's right. Happens to me every day.
We plan to just work, clean, remove everything, and basically, grade it, topsoil it, and then do the planting plan. So we'll have silt fence put in, prior to doing that.
Okay.
It would be done hopefully, at the same time as that, like, as the other plantings
Okay.
would be done at the other same time as those other plantings.
I guess I get what I'm getting at is if there was one more, let's see, we can't see any more new information if we want to close the public hearing today. So I don't know, Amelia, being staff on this, do you see enough here, or would you like to see it with a bow on top?
I would say since this just was received today, it has not been reviewed by staff, by myself or Alexis. It was really just received and then shared with you. You do have the time to leave the public hearing open. I believe with the full extension of time, your April 22nd meeting is actually the latest date. So if you keep it open, it wouldn't be too much of a crunch. You still have a couple meetings.
Okay.
And it does sound
Yeah.
like, you're asking for some revised plans with the planting. So I would recommend keeping it open if you want that revised new information.
We're still waiting on the review from the town engineer as well, so a city engineer, so I don't generally, I'll try to get all the plans in way before the meeting, so yeah, there is time, and we still need their comments to address them if there's any concerns.
Okay. All right. So we've given some feedback. You've given information. Amelia, is there anyone from the public online who would like to speak?
We have some attendees, so if you would like to comment on the new information that was shared tonight, please use the raise your hand feature at the bottom of your screen. And you can just say your name, your address, and then the nature of your comment based on the new information that has been presented tonight. So first, we have Peter Wilson. You should be able to speak now.
Good evening. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks for recognizing me. I had a series of questions that I sent in via email a couple days ago. Are those questions going to be addressed at this meeting, or how does that happen?
So
Amelia?
the email that you had sent to Alexis was shared with the commissioners. So were those questions for, I remember she had mentioned this, were the questions for Alexis to answer, or did you want the applicant to answer those questions?
I guess process-wise, I don't know who's supposed to. I'm happy to have whoever the quote-unquote authority is to answer them.
Okay, I'll check with Alexis when she returns, but either she'll respond to your questions, or we'll share with the applicant who can address it in the future, or choose to address it in the future.
Okay.
But your comments were received and they were shared with the commissioners.
Thank you. I have a question regarding the whether the work that's being contemplated for restoration covers all areas of the violations that were cited in V24-1067. Does it cover everything that has been in violation?
So the way that the public comment typically works, it's not really a back and forth. So I would just say everything that you'd like to say in the public comment. So then if anyone else would like to speak, everyone says what they need to say, and then the applicant will take a turn, will respond after public comment or has been completed from everyone. So it's not so much of a back and forth. So if you're done with your public comment, we can see if anyone else wants to speak, and then the applicant can address that. Or if there's anything else you'd like to say, and then just please state your name and address for the record.
Okay, it's Peter Wilson. I live at 178 Poconock Trail in New Canaan. A portion of our property resides in New Canaan. The majority of our property resides as an abutter to this land in Norwalk, and so effectively we are straddling the line in Norwalk. The first question, which I asked, I'll just leave out there again, which is, does this address all areas of the violations noted in V24-1067? And then timing of planting. It would be a question if we are going to continue to wait for several more weeks or months to deal with the replanting of the deciduous trees that were removed over in the violation area to the north and west there, or north and east rather. Do those have to coincide with one another, or was there timing on the other one that should be taken care of? Is timing considered here, I guess, is the question. We've been strung out for quite a long time on this for good reasons. There's been a lot of dialogue, but I'd like to understand timing. I think that's all at this time. Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Amelia, so would it be, is it okay for me or one of us to read Mr. Wilson's questions and just get them out there so they can be responded to by Penn's representative?
Do not see why not. I was also looking for the email too. I know Alexis has forwarded it to you. I'm just, if anyone has it and would like to pull it up.
Monday at 10:50 a.m. I can pull it up. Well, you know, if you want me to share my screen, I can.
I have got it.
You got it. Okay, cool.
Thank you so much for the time. That was very helpful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Let me pull that up.
And I think it just behooves us to get everything out as early as possible.
Yep. So this is a part of the record as it was received via email, but for, so these are the questions, because Brian, I'm not sure if you received this, but this is what.
So if there's no more public comment, I can address those questions, and then we can just keep the hearing open.
I did not see any other hands raised, but actually, let me stop sharing my screen quickly because I can't see. I do not see any other hand raised. So once more, if there are any other public comments that wish to be shared right now, please use the raise your hand feature. Otherwise, we will move on to the applicant response.
So in terms of restoring all the areas.
Wait, hold on, Brian. Hold on, Brian. So
Yep.
that's an affirmative, Amelia?
Yep. No one has since raised their hand. So it looks, oh, there we go. We have one more hand.
All right, hang tight, Brian.
All right, please state your name and address for the record, and you should be able to speak.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, this is Alicia Shabir, and I'm at 166 Poconock Trail in New Canaan. And also my backyard is mostly in Norwalk, right next to Wilson's. And I just kind of wanted to echo what Peter said. Summer is coming, the nice weather is coming. I kind of wanted to know the timing and, you know, any hopes for less visibility and noise.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Any other takers?
All right, I see no more hands, but one more time, if you'd like to make a public comment, please use the raise your hand feature at the bottom of your screen. Okay, I think that may be it for verbal public comment tonight, at least.
Okay, would you want to bring Mr. Wilson's email back up?
There we go.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Carey.
But just to address some of those questions, yeah, we do have to address all of the areas because it is noticed in the violation. We do have to restore all the areas back to the previous 2018 violation. Let me say that again. We do, based on the permit that was issued in 2018, we will have to restore all the disturbed areas back to the limits of that permit that were granted under that permit. We were seeking to legalize the expansion of the yard under this process, but we are no longer looking to do that. The only modification that we are requesting is to the drainage. That being said, all of the areas that have gone beyond the original approval will be restored. That is a requirement of the notice of violation that was issued, and we're no longer seeking to amend the permit to satisfy that violation. In addition, based on the previous approval that was granted on the restoration plan, there is very specific timeframes that the commission voted on in order to replant the area. Basically, we have 4 months from the issuance of the approval to get that done. I know the applicant is already working to implement that. There is a little bit of work we need to do, but the applicant will be working to get that done as soon as possible. The planting season begins April 15th generally for the trees. So that would be as soon as we would move forward with that, just to make sure that we're out of really heading towards when there's really no more frost. So we'll be moving quickly. All of that work will be coordinated directly with the conservation department. So they will know when we will be doing that work, at least a week or so ahead of time. We also have to have a meeting on site with conservation staff to lay it out, and there will be updated reports to them. So this will not happen in a vacuum, and we're already planning to do that. It would be advantageous to get this approval so that the modification for the drainage system, so we can do all the restoration work at one time. I hope that kind of answers any of the existing questions. Anything else that has been submitted to Alexis, if she needs me to respond after I talk to the applicant, I will, based on the public comments that have been submitted into the record.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Maybe we can clarify some of the bullets in Mr. Wilson's email while you're here. So the first one is talking about a proposed sound barrier. I believe that has been removed in the updated site plan that was submitted today.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Northwest edge of the property shows low concrete wall or berms surround expanded area. Amelia, I wouldn't know off the top of my head if that line that's drawn on the site plan it matches what was approved back in 2018. Brian?
It does, but I'll provide clarification in writing for that.
Okay. Is there required property boundary setback required for the proposed construction of underground detention overflow walls, etc.? That wouldn't be for us. That would be a zoning question. For us, we would just be concerned about how the subterranean infiltration feature may or may not affect the wetland. It is at least half of it is within the upland review area, which is 100 feet away from the wetland flag line. I'll just say I personally don't have any problem with it being there. I think it's a good way to control the surface water from the paved areas of the site, but others are welcome to share their opinions. I think Mr. Carey would say his opinion is that it works. That's why he drew it. But Any other commissioners have any hesitation about this switch from the original approved plan of an above ground retention and infiltration feature to a subterranean infiltration feature? Sorry, hold on.
And I will just jump in and say that zoning does not regulate anything underground. So there is no zoning setback from the property boundary for anything underground.
Interesting. Didn't actually know that. Okay, good answer. Thank you.
But the system that was forwarded to Alexis and she forwarded to us looks like a very good filtration system.
Cool. All right. So no red flags there, basically, is what I'm hearing. Okay. So temporary stockpile area. Yeah, I think let's see, on page 2 of what you submitted this afternoon, Brian, do you have hopefully some silt sock or whatever? Oh, there we go. You've got a detail. I know, Amelia, if you want to switch to the drawings, but bottom left-hand corner of the second page, there's a stockpile detail. It shows a silt fence. I think they might have a hard time hammering silt fence into that paved lot. So maybe, or maybe it's not paved. I don't know. If it's gravel and it's been driven over, it's
So
gonna behave like it's paved.
generally, before we start work on the property, the conservation staff will come out and look at the installation of the silt fence, or we'll have to provide photographic evidence of that with a site monitoring report. But either way, I'll since I will be preparing just like a restoration plan, I will lay that out specifically on the plan, just so there's no more questioning about that.
Okay, thanks. Let's see. Has the previously installed stormwater cistern system containing concrete galleries has been inspected for proper installation compliance with the Inland Wetland Agency permit requirements? That's a good question. Amelia, any
That
ideas
is
on that?
not something I know off the top of my head, but Alexis and her staff do document inspections and inspection reports. So that should be something we can find the answer to pretty easily.
Okay. It's been noted for the record. Have all other Inland Wetland Agency requirements from the original permit been properly completed? Is there documentation to support the completion of that work? Again, that's probably a good one for Alexis.
Yeah, same answer that we can look into it.
Okay, noted. Has corrective action been taken or proposed against the September 25th, 2024 enforcement order V24-1066 in the area of the northwest of the driveway where wood chip piles were created in areas impacting wetlands? Which one was that? V24-1066. Violation order upheld. It's on the website. Amelia, just search for 1066. You'll have 2. There's a violation and there's a photo. I think the photo is probably better.
I think it was the same photo we were looking at earlier too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Random question. So we're focusing mostly on the magenta enclosed funny shape to the top right of the, developed area. There's also to the top left is the red line that is part of the other violation. But then the purple line or the magenta line kind of continues around up until there you go down. Yep, that's it right there. So let's see. It seems to me that the majority of that little strip there is covered under the other resolution. What about the little bit that sticks out and almost touches the bridge? Is that on there too? Do you recall, Amelia?
I do not recall. Let's pull up the other plan. Or Brian, if you want to take that one in the meantime while I pull up the
Yeah,
plan.
that is mitigated under the other plan.
Other plan, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so has corrective action been taken? I think it's underway is the answer to that question. And we will be continuing the public hearing. Well, let's see. we will leave the public hearing open unless anyone has objections. What is our next meeting, Amelia? It is,
It is March 25th, so it's stating for the record, the public hearing will be continued to Tuesday, March 25th at 7 p.m. via Zoom.
okay. So we don't if there's nothing new, we don't take a break for a meeting. But I'm assuming there's gonna be new stuff anyway, so.
You can choose to table it if you would like, that is an option, but
Right.
the plan is to continue that public hearing to March 25th at 7 p.m. on Zoom.
Awesome. Okay,
I'll have the updated planting plan for you tomorrow.
okay. Anybody else have questions, comments? Seeing and hearing none, we're gonna move forward with the agenda of the meeting. We're not closing the public hearing, we're keeping it open, but we are not talking any more about it tonight.
Thank
Whatever the
you.
technical term for that is. Thanks, Brian. Good night. Okay, so next on the agenda is the acceptance of minutes from our February 25th meeting.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Oh, sorry, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And then Matt, are you gonna abstain?
Would abstain, yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Conservation initiatives, anybody have anything they'd like to discuss tonight? Did anybody go to the power plant? Manresa, there was a presentation of the design last week, I thought. Or a public comment session? No, nobody went?
Yeah, I went last week. It was pretty well attended. 700 people registered. The auditorium was, not completely full, but very good turnout. Very ambitious plans, interesting. They did say that they were going to take a lot of public input into consideration for their plans. So I thought that was interesting. And there was a QR code where they surveyed the participants, and I think it's online somewhere too, where people are able to chime in. So that was pretty neat. So yeah, pretty spectacular stuff that they're working on.
Good for them. Wow, way to get back. Okay. Cool, glad you went, Matt. Anybody else, or we will move forward? Nope, okay. Commission Chair, I don't have anything to report. Our stand-in Senior Environmental Officer,
I've got nothing for you.
that's a pass. Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
What? I said I'd entertain it. I didn't make the motion.
I'll make a
I'll
move.
make it.
All right.
Okay, Matt moved. Heather seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay,
It was my only
What?
contribution. I was trying to pitch in here, but
no, you can contribute or just being present. Thanks, Amelia.
yes,
Thank you
you.
guys.
Thank
Have a good
you.
night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Aye.